Do not treat traveling like a grocery list. Now, what do I mean by that? A lot of people, when they want to travel, they imagine going to as many countries as possible. But I think that is a big mistake. Because just imagine if you go to, let's say, Istanbul, because you have a transit flight in Istanbul, then you're not going to tell other people that, yeah, I visited Istanbul, because you've just been at the airport, right? Even though physically you've been in Istanbul. And that's the thing. When you travel to a country and you just do your tourist stuff, right? You're not even experiencing the culture. You're just staying at a hotel, and or even if you're staying at a hostel, you're just chilling with foreigners, you're just chilling with travelers and expats and all of that. But you're not truly experiencing the country, right? You haven't built anything in the country. You haven't built any friendships and you haven't built any social circles. So why would you say that you've been at the country? Now, I know a lot of people are going to disagree, right? Like, who are you to tell other people how they should travel? And I'm not. It's just that here on this channel, we talk about having real experiences, right? We talk about being part of the culture. We talk about having access to the culture, to the people, actually engage with the people and not just try to enjoy a country from a surface level, just as a spectator. When I went to the slums of Dharavi, and I thought that was so weird, right? I walked through the streets and I got invited by a family, in the slums into their house. Everything's on video. You can check out my vlog channel. But while I was walking through the slums, I saw this group of tourists being guided, by a tourist guide in the slums with their big fat cannon around their neck. And I was like, what are you doing? Like, you are trying to experience the culture, sure, but you're just being guided by a tourist guide and you're taking pictures of the slums. Is that really travel? Ask yourself, is that really travel in a sense where you can really tell people stories about how you walked through the slums with a tourist guide and just took pictures of the people there? I disagree with that. And I truly realized that when I was 18, right? I've told this story before. When I was in Bangkok, was basically my first solo travel. And I stayed at a hostel and I had a lot of fun, with foreigners and expats and all of that. But I remember this night when I was chilling on my bunk bed in the hostel, and basically I heard voices from outside the window, from the streets, of locals, having a laugh, making jokes and all of that, girls laughing and guys laughing. And there was this special dynamic where I was like, I don't even have access to that, right? Imagine if I could go to a place and I could just chill with the locals, right? Ask about their meal plan, ask about what they think about the world and about my country even. I didn't have any access to that, and I didn't even know, like, what am I gonna do? Like, there are all these opportunities in front of me, but I don't even know how to access them, right? And if you try to visit as many places as possible, and if you treat it like a grocery list, yeah, I've been there, I've been there, I've been there, I've been there. Some of these people that have been to 50 or 100 countries, they just say they've been there, but do they have any real stories to tell? Ask yourself, is it even possible? I saw this one video of the guy, he visited every country in the world, right? And he was a pretty young guy, around 30 years old. And then he was asked to tell a story about every country. And I think it was Sweden. And he said something like, yeah, he had like this deck of cards and he pulled up and it said Sweden. So he was supposed to tell a story about Sweden. You know what he said? He said, Sweden, it's really cold. That's all he basically said. So that's when I thought, like, I don't want to be this guy, right? Like, nothing against this guy. I get it's a short video. I'm sure he has at least one story about Sweden. But to just travel to a country just to say that it's cold, this is actually what awaits you when you try to travel to as many countries as possible. So what should you do instead? You should carefully choose the places where you want to invest. What do I mean by invest? By invest, I mean build a social circle, make friends in that place. Ideally learn the language And then you will create real stories, because in this way, you will have access to so many stories. You will have access to locals. You will have access to stories. You will have access to danger even, or risk. But this can only happen if you take your time with a place. I mean, I've traveled to around 30 countries, right? But I spend so much time in India. I spend so much time in Mumbai. I could have traveled to so many other places, but I chose to stay in Mumbai. Same thing with Bangkok. While all of my friends, who went to Southeast Asia, they traveled to so many places, which is great, right? I took my time in Bangkok, and now I have friends in Bangkok. I can call them. I am in contact with a local gym. I can train there whenever I go. All of these small things. This was only possible because I chose to take my time in Bangkok, right? Same thing in Mumbai. When I traveled to the northeast of India, I went with a friend that I made in Mumbai, and he helped me, do my vlogs. Yeah, right? And this companionship was only possible because I took my time in Mumbai. And it's the small things as well, right? I drink every now and then. And in Mumbai, sometimes it's hard to get alcohol at a certain time of the night. And I think it's even illegal to get alcohol after a certain time. Well, who do you call if you're a tourist, right? Who do you call? Maybe the people at the hostel will help you. But whenever you need something, like whenever I need it, was like 3 or 4 in the morning or something, I just called up a friend. And he knew a shopkeeper. So this shopkeeper opened the shop just for us, to get alcohol. And this can be anything. You need a driver, you need access to a club, you need access to a special venue, or you need access for your mission. And this is how real stories are created, right? You go to a place, you try to invest, and then you get access to so many side missions or even main missions. But along the way, because you have a hard mission, you will get to know other people who will help you achieve this. And then through that, you will have new relationships, but also you'll have new missions, new side quests. Side quests of life, of travel, that will make you create new stories. You will have so much adversity, but as I always say, I always like to say it, adversity with a purpose is a privilege, but adversity without a purpose is the definition of hell. By the way, I have an online community you can join for absolutely free. If you join for free, you'll get a free PDF on how you can build your international network and how you can create your own mission that will make your travels actually valuable and create stories. So, to wrap it up, forget the number. It's not about the number, it's about the stories. Measure your travels through stories and not numbers. And once you forget the number in your head, once you stop treating it like a grocery list, right? Once you stop wanting to flex on how many countries you've been in, then this is when you start creating the real stories. This is when you'll have these adversities, these struggles while you're traveling, and these relationships that you can always come back to. And I'm telling you, this is the most valuable thing when it comes to traveling. So always remember, blend in, stand out, and belong anywhere. Take care.